I got, my oldest is 15, almost 16, and I'm ready for that Harley for sure. Wow. Thank you guys for joining us. This is amazing. If we could have full council chambers like this at every meeting, I'd love it. For sure. Give her the swap. Yeah.
Yeah, this is. It's gonna figure out a way.
Well, there's a button on the side there.
Yeah, I know, but
Doesn't work.
probably does, but if it never properly. Ready? Not the one with the action button?
That is the action button, that right trigger. And you off like you're in an F-35, straight up and out.
We always should have these on all the chairs.
Yeah. Oh, that would be a fun social media event, wouldn't it?
Anytime we keep the forum going.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for doing that.
Good. Good. You're here. Oh, man. Right.
Hey there, Jeff, how are you? Good.
That's my buddy. Look, we're big.
That down?
Yeah,
You sure? It might be a mo. Oh, man. All right.
we got one over here.
Hooked up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Madam Clerk, are we ready to start?
Yes, we are live.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the special council meeting. Today is Monday, April 14th, 2024. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Claus,
Here.
Mr. Williams,
Yeah.
Mr. Jacobson,
Here.
Mr. Keller.
Here.
And Mayor Church.
I'm here. We will stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance, and then after the pledge, one of the pastors from Church of North Pole, Pastor Burgess, will say the invocation for us.
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Let us pray. Our Father, we thank you for this opportunity we have to come together as leaders within this community. We pray for your wisdom. We pray for your guidance, especially with this special meeting as seats are looked to be filled, that you would give good counsel, that you would help those candidating to represent themselves well. And we pray, Lord, that your will would be done in this community, that it would continue to grow, that it would be blessed, and that it would be a place where families can be raised in safety and prosperity. We thank you for this in the name of Jesus, our Savior. Amen.
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 Thank you, Pastor Burgess, for that. Okay. Brings us on to item 4, approval of the agenda. Tonight's agenda is just the special meeting, and we're only allowed to have one item on it, and that is to fill our 2 seats.
To approve the agenda.
I'll second. All right. So moved by Councilman Jacobson and seconded by Councilman Claus. Thank you. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
On this evening's agenda, Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Jacobson,
Yes.
Mr. Claus,
Yes.
Mr. Keller,
Yes.
and Mayor Church.
Yes. Brings us on to communications to the council. Madam Clerk, please.
Yes, in the interest of saving time at this evening's meeting, Maggie and I put all of your names in a hat. And now we have a random order for interviews this evening. We did 2 rounds of practice voting in our office and contacted the attorney for clarification in between. It was helpful to run through it a couple times, and we'll have code up on the big screen. I put cups for the water fountain out on the water fountain if anybody's thirsty. We also left the office open if anybody wants to not sit in here, because make yourself at home and feel comfortable here during these interviews. There are 2 standard questions, but the council members are welcome to ask others. Mayor Church can ask the questions or assign the questions to council members. Please remember that these are candidate interviews and that respectful standards of decorum should be maintained by all speakers.
Thank you. That brings us to item 6, citizens' comments.
And if there's any citizen, any person wishing to speak needs to fill out the list that is located on the public testimony table. Respectful standards of decorum and courtesy should be observed by all speakers. Remarks should be directed to the council as a body rather than any one member of the council or staff. I did not have anybody sign up today during the day to do testimony. Is there anybody here that would like to publicly testify?
Okay, seeing none. That takes us right on to special orders and candidate interviews.
And we are starting with Jordan Schuster.
I do have a question.
Oh,
Could
please.
we perhaps explain the procedure of voting and select how the candidates will be selected?
Sure. So we'll do the interview. We'll go through the interviews. You guys have your standard questions, and then you guys will communicate with the candidate. And the voting, I have code up here. You guys will listen to all the interviews, and then you'll call out your nominations, and then I'll give you a piece of paper. The first round, you'll do 2. I think this is the first 2 open council seats in history here at the same time, but you'll vote for 2. If you have, the person has to get 4 in order to go onto the council. So you can vote for 2 because there are 2 seats, and if you guys determine the 4 same people, or people get the 4 votes, then they're on the council. And then if we have to go a second round because we don't have 2 people that got 4 votes the first round, we'll just have to start over and do another round of voting for the second seat.
With nominations being opened up again, is that?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, it was, we did a test run in the fishbowl with all of the employees, and we made objects be council members. The first time we kept coming up with a 3-2 split, and so Zane helped us. It has to be 4 members. That's what code says. So we could get through it as easily as 1 round of voting. It might take a couple. The evening could be long.
Okay.
And Jordan, you are up first. Thank you.
Before we start, I have a question, Emily.
Okay, sure, Benny.
How do I get my vote to you?
Oh, I sent you a text message, but if you could text me your secret vote, we will keep it secret over here on the clerk dais.
Okay. All right.
Do you have your phone, Benny?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Yeah, I sent it earlier today. Well, not too long
Okay,
ago.
okay. Let me, come on, phone, act right.
We'll call that a secret ballot.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Schuster. Thank you for joining us.
All right, thanks for doing this. City council members, I'm here today to express my interest in the vacant city council seat for the city of North Pole. As a lifelong resident and a business owner and a passionate advocate for the community, I believe I can bring value, perspective, and energy to this role. Born and raised in North Pole and a graduate of North Pole High School, I have deep roots in our community. My wife Tiffany works as a mortgage loan officer at a local bank, and we recently welcomed our first child. As a new father, my desire to see our community thrive and be a wonderful place for families has never been stronger. I want North Pole to be a place of opportunity, growth, and community spirit, just as it was for me during my upbringing. As a business owner, I've gained experience in budgeting and financial management, skills that are essential for effective governance. Additionally, my involvement on various boards has honed my ability to work collaboratively and develop initiatives that benefit our community. I understand the importance of transparent decision-making, and I'm committed to fostering an environment where residents feel heard and valued. I'm optimistic about the potential growth for North Pole. In past meetings, I have heard Mayor Turch talk about housing, specifically military housing. I recognize this issue fully and support North Pole as a military community. I bring existing experience with contractors, construction experience, and the understanding of it developing in the city of North Pole. Our city has unique opportunities to enhance economic development while preserving the charm and character that makes it special. I'm eager to work with fellow council members to explore innovative solutions, promote local business, and improve the quality of life for all residents. Like I mentioned, I've owned various businesses for over 10 years, born and raised here. Some of my experience, I was the president of the Interior Alaska Home Building Association, currently serve on the Fairbanks North Star Borough Board of Equalization. I was a state board member for the Alaska State Home Building Association. And I do have some great connections, both with, national congressmen, state legislators. And so I think that's an important task or an important item when, trying to fight for our city. So I'm excited about the possibility of serving on the city council and in the future in North Pole.
Okay. Questions for Jordan?
Should we just go up
Yeah,
okay.
sure.
I'll ask the first question. Jordan, what is your experience with the city of North Pole that has compelled you to serve?
Well, overall, I've had a positive experience. Just growing up here. I'm born and raised in North Pole, and I on a day-to-day basis, I get to see public works and doing great stuff in the city, and we have a great public works department here, and so I guess my desire would be to take that a step further and I think there's an opportunity to, expand and grow and develop North Pole, especially with, the military community and so I think that's kind of my main purpose is to see it continue on a great path.
And I suppose I'll take the second question. What do you wish to accomplish while you are serving on the city council?
Yeah, and I kind of just, touched on it, but I think I can collaborate with developers and builders, and I do have a lot of great existing relationships with, people who build in the city, and so I know there's other issues. There's, an aging water system. I know there's, other steps, things that need to address, and so I guess those are two of my big ones.
Super. Any other questions?
Mayor, I have one real quick. When is a time that you had to confront an event or a person who opposed your views, and how did that go?
Well, I got a lot of experience on that with the Board of Equalization. You're dealing with a bunch of, upset homeowners about their property taxes. And so every meeting is pretty, pretentious and highly emotional. And so my opinion is stated there every day based on their property. Sometimes they agree with it, sometimes they don't. But I'm able to stand firm and stand behind my decision. And just, I think the most important thing with that is to explain to them why you feel that way. And so I think that's the most important, is just, stand behind it and your decision and talk to them.
I have a follow-up. Through the mayor. So with these things that you're involved with, that leads to a pretty busy life.
Yeah, it does. You know, I had talked to the Board of Equalization. If I did get the city council seat, I would resign from that. I think it's kind of a little bit of a conflict of interest for, you know, when residents come in to, you know.
Yeah, which hat are you going to be wearing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
What's important for you? What's important to you for North Pole to be a city to follow its lead? By that I mean, you know, are we doing the right things? Are we taking care of our people okay? What's really important for you?
If I understand the question correctly, are you asking Mr. Williams what the city provides?
What do you want to see the city to do better? Let's put it that way.
Well, to do better, I think, you know, I think the budget is the biggest, one of the, not the biggest thing, but I think that's an important topic, and make sure that residents feel like every dollar has a value in the budget. And so I think that's important. I think, like I mentioned earlier, our Public Works Department does a great job. I think it probably better than any job, a better job than anybody in the state of Alaska. Whenever I drive around, I think those guys do phenomenal work. So I think that's important. Obviously, we have a great, you know, police and fire. So all the city's core services, I think, do a great job. But like I said, one of the big ones is making sure that homeowners that reside in the city of North Pole feel like, you know, every dollar that we spend in the budget has a place and it's meaningful.
Another follow-on questions. Like you said before, you know, there are some individuals that we just won't be able to satisfy. You do the best you can for the majority of the people. Would you agree or disagree on that?
Yeah, I absolutely, I agree. I would agree with that. I don't think it's any one person on the council's job to make a decision based on solely their belief. I think it's based on, you know, the residents of the city.
Right. Okay. That's all I got, guys.
Go ahead, Councilman Close.
Hi, welcome. Quick question regarding the news media. Would you be comfortable as a council person to refer questions from the news media to the mayor and the city clerk?
Yeah, absolutely. I have no interest in being, you know, trying to steal a show or anything like that. I think it's better in every organization if it's ran through one person. I see it on, you know, it's like if I'm working at a job site, one point of contact is always better. You know, make sure it's a clear message.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Jordan.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Next we have
Perry
Sir
Wally.
Perry Wally.
Gonna wing it tonight. How you doing?
Thank you for joining us.
Cool. So I guess tell you a little bit about myself. Let's see here. Lifelong Alaskan. I was born in Juneau, migrated through Anchorage, up through Fairbanks, finally North Pole. Spent majority of my life in Fairbanks. I did serve on the city council there for roughly 5 years. I did not finish out my second term because I bought my dream home out here in North Pole back in 2016. And I have to be honest, when I, you know, living in Fairbanks for so long, we'd always say, okay, you know, North Pole, wow, you know, who goes out there, you know, except for Pagoda, right? But, you know, when I moved out here, I fell in love with my home. And at that point, I fell in love with this community. I like the small town feel of it, people helping out people. And at that point, I had been here for about a year and there was a vacancy.
At which point, and I have to commend everybody that showed up here today to put their name, their hat and, their name in the hat for the seat, because back then, it was literally me and another guy. And it's hard to get people to serve their community. And so I do commend these people. I was worried that there would only be one or two people here, but I'm pleasantly surprised. So with that said, I filled out a term and then I ran again. I did serve on the council here for roughly about 3 years and 4 months. At that point, I had a lot of things going on in my business world. Let me step back, give you a little background. I know pretty much a lot of people here. I know a lot of people on the council here. Some I've just met tonight. And so I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Last Frontier Media Active, which operates 10 radio stations throughout the state of Alaska. I've been in broadcasting my entire life. So that is my professional side. And giving you the backdrop of what I've done in the past for public service is obviously 5 years on the council in the city, 3 years, 3 months here on this city council. I've served on FMATS, what was formerly known as FMATS. It's now the FAST Committee. I served my entire term on the city on that committee, which was an eye-opener. That is, if anybody, I know the mayor's on there, but that is an eye-opening experience, that one. And, I put my feet to the fire on that one. And thanks to Mayor Cleworth at the point, who appointed me at the time as a newbie. So as you serve this, in public service, it's eye-opening, but you also learn a lot. I have a business that I run. I have financials that I have to, adhere to. I'm for a profit for business. So I take everything level-headed. I'm not I'm not on this side or that side. I don't jump to judgment. I'm a thinker, and I think a lot before I make a decision. So like I said, I'm a pretty level-headed person. I'm very happy all these people had stepped up here. And, I decided not to run my second term here, as I had a lot of business things going on at that time. I don't know if anybody remember that I had just broken my back, and I was taking some time to heal. And I remember nominating Anton, saying you should run. I was encouraging other people to jump in on the council. So that's a little bit about my background. Like I said, I come from a business background, and I'm a people person, and handling conflict. Well, gosh, I'm in a business that handles conflict all the time. In the radio business, I don't know how many complaints I get a day. From every walk of life, and handling those, sometimes I handle them well, sometimes I don't. I'll just be honest. But I think I am, if people have interacted with me, that, I'm a pretty fair person. And there you go. There's my spiel.
All right, I'll kick it off with the first question. What is your experience with the city of North Pole that has compelled you to serve? I know you sort of already answered that, but
Well, sure. You know what? Here's the thing: is I'm going to give you some backdrop. So I know I remember Jacobson back in the council days. That when I served on the city council of Fairbanks, man, that was a real big eye opener, especially dealing with 3 unions. And it seemed like we were in executive session almost. I mean, it was every meeting till 1 a.m. And when I came out here and no one was filling that position, I said, well, how bad could this be, right? And so when I got on the council, well, I got into a time when it was a busy time for us. We had the Moose Creek project just kicked off. The PFOS, PFOA issues, and it just seemed like, wow, does all these big decisions follow me. No, it's just the way it is and just the way it laid out. And you know what? After that, I started calling North Pole Little Big Town. Because it was busy and, and when you want to serve, you jump on committees. And that's what I tended to do, is jump on committees. I was the representative for the borough for the city of Fairbanks when I had an opportunity. I don't know how you all do it now, but we used to rotate it in and out for as borough rep there. I would, take my turn instead. So I mean, there you go.
Any other questions?
Mayor,
Okay.
I think you go ahead, Mr. Williams.
Okay, my question again is, what's important to you for North Pole to be a city for others to follow our lead?
Well, I'm gonna take it two part. I'm gonna take the second part of the question first, because I think that's a two-part question. Following our lead, you know what I really like about this city is the community aspect of it. I got to tell you a quick story here, because I'm a storyteller. The first day I landed here, and this is a true story. First day I landed here, I got the keys to my new place, and I went to go into my new home. And at that point, the alarms started going off. Well, I had a booklet that told me the alarms of the alarm system. Well, the police were there in 60 seconds. And obviously they're like, and I appreciated that, moving into a new community. And they were right there on they ID'd me. It was pretty fun. And that's how I got introduced to North Pole. But it also told me that in such a small community, we look after each other, and so I got that sense. I really truly have fallen in love with North Pole. I don't think I could ever live anywhere else. And I like the little town aspect, but I also know we need to grow as well. And I know it is growing. But I would like to keep that small town feel at the same time. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, sir, you on target.
Any other questions?
Sure, Mayor.
Yeah, please.
Perry, what do you wish to accomplish while you're serving on the city council?
Well, I don't think I have any specific agenda. Okay. I sit here, I listen. I try to make common sense judgments, because you don't know what's going to come at you at that point. I don't have any specific agenda of, cut budgets and anything like that. I've seen the budgets grow. I'm pretty familiar every year when I look at it. I do go online. I see what my city's doing. And so I'm familiar with the budget, not in depth, but I am familiar with the current budget you have now, how it's grown since I have been on here. And I know there's a lot of things there, you have, things do grow. One good friend of mine, I don't know if you ever heard of the name Donna Gilbert. All right. She always told me, it's like, you know what? Because I go, why do you run, Donna? Why do you always run? She goes, well, she goes, I don't run because, she goes, I run to not cut spending, but to control growth. And that's an important piece. Not to say that, you're going to have growth. You're going to have, increased expenses every year. It's automatic. But that is, you control it, and then control it with a level head. I know that, in the city council meetings, you have citizens come up. You also do a lot with employees here. And so you represent the citizens of North Pole. And you deal with the employees as you are the managers, which.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you, Mr. Wally.
Hope I didn't tell too many stories.
Brings us on to, I hope I get this name right, Mike Gendro. Is that correct, sir? Yes. All right.
Good evening to all of you. Thank you. I saw the ad in the paper with the problems that the city council was having. And for the first time, I'm retired. I actually had a little extra time on my hands, and I wanted to make sure the city council was taken care of and you had a quorum and you'd be able to pass things and keep the city running properly. So just in case you didn't get the response that you needed, I decided to sign up and apply for this. I've lived in the city limits here over on St. Nicholas for 42 years. I've been an Alaska resident for 50 years. I spent 24 years in the Air Force, 17 and a half of that was here in the state of Alaska, which was almost a record. Me and my wife have owned 2 successful businesses thanks to the people in North Pole who supported us so much and helped us. And I feel like I've had a lot of different jobs and been involved in a lot of different things in my life. And I feel like I have a wide variance of abilities and knowledge on different things. And I'd be happy to take any questions that you have.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Gendreau? Please, go ahead, Santa.
I remember when you had one of your businesses here, not too far from the Safeway, the impression I got was that you knew a lot of people here in town.
Oh, we do.
And sort of kept on top of things. What would you do differently now that you're retired?
What would I do differently?
Mm-hmm.
As far as what aspect?
As far as keeping on top of what people's wishes for the community happen to be?
Well, there's numerous groups of people here in town that I do have special interest in. Of course, the residents are number one to me, period. The seniors are important to me. The military residents here are important to me. And the youth here is important to me in our schools. And those would be my main focus groups. And of course, I would address any others that came up.
Thank you.
Other than what you've already talked about, what do you wish to accomplish while you're serving here on city council if you were chosen this evening?
Well, I realize I would have a lot to learn, and if I did get selected, I'm sure all of you would help me learn what I needed to learn to be a good council member. But one of my main things that I really am serious about is fiscal responsibility. I think it's very important for people and for government also to live within their means. If I was a council member, I would try to look things over as far as purchases and things, do research and try to make sure we're getting the best deal and spending the money wisely, the people's money wisely. I would also I'd like to see some more. I learned about the new Economic Council the other day, or Development Committee, which I thought was a great idea. And I also have a couple little economy ideas and things to get things going a little better here in North Pole. And if the opportunity ever arises that we have plenty of money or whatever, I think the first thing we might want to do is drop the sales tax 0.5%.
Okay. Just so you know, since you mentioned the Economic Development Committee, you're more than welcome as a citizen, as an area member, to attend that at any time. We do post that on our website, so feel free to come down with your ideas. Always happy to have citizens involved with everything that the city's doing.
I will do that because
Yeah.
I have one thing I would like to talk to them about.
Good info for you. Yeah. We post those on the city website and their public. Emily posts those on our website. So thank you for that. Any other questions?
Yep, I got one. I'm always going to ask the same question. What's important to you for North Pole to be a city let's say, a city for others to follow behind. In other words, we're doing everything correctly to the best of our ability, but you know, you always got a little tweak that you can put in on what you're trying to do.
Well, there's a lot going on as far as Eielson Air Force Base goes. I think it's really important that we try to do as much as we can for the military people around here. Like I said, I was in the military a long time, and these young people, a lot of them are struggling right now because of the economy. I also like it when the city here really looks neat and clean. The appearance of the city when people roll in here is very, very important, I think. I would also like to see more activities in this city for tourism. If we could get like a wildlife museum in this city or something, the state to put a wild, fishing game or something, just anything to keep people in town longer or give them more to see and do. I would really like to see that happen.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Any other questions?
I got one.
Yeah.
When is the time that you had to confront an event or person that opposed your views, and how did that go, or how did it look?
When I had a confrontation with someone?
Hmm.
Well, I'm going to tell you the truth. When I was young, I was hard-headed. And I'll tell you what, I didn't have much patience with people. But over the years, and being in the military so long and working with a lot of people, I've learned a lot of things that I didn't know before. I've learned to listen to other people's opinion and digest what they have to say and look, and weigh it out. I hate yelling and screaming. I think it's fine for people to have disagreements about certain things, but I think both parties always need to act like adults and talk like adults and hear each other out. So I didn't used to be this way, but I normally try to keep it low tone now, and I normally try to work with people as best I can.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gendro. That brings us to Mr. David Brandt.
I don't know what to say other than what I've already sent you all and said last time I was up here. Lifelong resident, went to school here in North Pole all the way through high school, went to study at UAF. Right now I'm mostly retired, so I have a lot of time to devote to city council. I have previous experiences, like I was the City of North Pole's representative on the Borough Planning Commission for many years. Not much to add. Just answer any questions you might have.
What is your experience with the city of North Pole that has compelled you to serve?
Since I've lived in the city, I've followed the city council pretty regularly. I watch all the, I'll wait till the sirens go by here. I watch all the council meetings online. There are a few things that I would like the city to address that they haven't in the past. And this is a very short term, 6 months or something like that. I feel like I am up to date on all the issues that the city is facing right now. I also follow the borough assembly meetings every week. So we are in the borough. So what happens in the borough affects us also. So I keep up to date on all that stuff. The budget has grown significantly in the last 7 years in particular. If the council recalls, when I came to testify on the budget this year. I didn't recommend a single cut to the budget. The budget, I believe, is fair. I did have a lot of talks with the department heads. Our department heads are fantastic. They really, they take good care of the money that we give them as a city. I had a lot of talks with Chief Dutra, and he tells me, every year his budget, he's hundreds of thousands of dollars under budget every year, and he gives that back to the city. But then the money gets absorbed. Over the last 3 years, we've added 3 major revenue sources to the city with the online sales tax, the AMLIP accounts, and the SCMT. Between those 3, that's almost $2 million, but none of that money has been returned to the residents. So I feel the budget is fair. What I would like the city to address is the budget surplus. How much do we need in our general reserve fund? Determine how much we need in there. And once we achieve that amount, start looking at lowering the property tax, or not the property tax, but the sales tax. I think the property tax is very fair. Anyway, those are my concerns with the budget.
Any other questions?
Hey,
Please.
okay, I got a question.
Go ahead, Mr. Williams. Then we'll go to
Okay.
Mr. Jacobson.
All right. Okay. David, here's my question is, what's important to you for North Pole to be a city to follow? It's how they do things.
How they do things. Well, I would say, so the first year that about 10 years ago when I bought my house in the city limits here,
Yes, sir.
first big snowfall. Next morning, I got up, the roads were clear. And I've got a couple of rental properties in Fairbanks, and they're on a 6-week rotation for cleaning the roads. 6 weeks. Doesn't matter how much it snows. Here it snows 3 inches. They clear the roads. I actually got on the phone and called Public Works, talked to Cody. I'm sure that he just, every time a citizen calls him, he's just waiting to get reamed out. And I told him, thank you. I really appreciate the way you guys take care of the roads here. And that's one of the most important things, especially, for our citizens here, is to take care of the roads. So I wish Fairbanks was more like North Pole, especially in that respect.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
Councilman Jacobson, did you have a question?
Yes. Thank you for your years of service. In particular, when you were on the Borough Planning Commission, you saw a lot of different development and land use conflicts. Is there anything from your experience there that you could see that we should do differently with our land use designations or, central business district, things like that?
Absolutely. One of the things that I would like to accomplish if I were appointed here is that the North Pole land use plan hasn't been updated in 20 years. I think right at over 20 years now. And when I was on the commission, I tried to get the former mayor to do something about that, and never got a response from him. In the meantime, with the development that we've had, especially in the last 4 or 5 years with the F-35s coming up, we missed some great opportunities because that has not been updated. I would like us, we'd have to get with the Department of the Borough. I'm sure they'd be more than happy for the involvement of the council.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I'll ask mine.
Yeah.
Mr. Brent, when is a time you had conflict or a confrontation with an event or a person that opposed your views, and how did that go?
I wouldn't say conflict. I don't really have conflicts. I have a lot of opinions, but I would say I'm not opinionated. I collect as much information as I can. Like I said, I go to as many community meetings as I possibly can on any range of subjects. I listen to the council meetings. I even used to listen to the Fairbanks City Council meetings, but they're on the same night, so I can't do that anymore. But I do read their budgets and all that kind of stuff. So like when I was preparing my testimony on this year's budget, I read the borough budgets, the city of Fairbanks budgets, just to kind of compare and see how they do things, how we do things. And I've gone through the last 20 years of North Pole city budgets and the audits. And then I came down and talked to Mr. Church right after he wrote his budget, sat right in here for almost 2 hours and talked about it. And we had a very good conversation. I understand exactly where he was coming from with everything that he put into the budget. And I didn't agree with a few of the things, but I still supported it. Like I said, I didn't recommend single cut to the budget. After talking with Mayor Turch and having him explain everything to me. And then I also talked to all of the department heads and asked them specific questions that I had on the budget. And they, I want to know how come this increased so much? They explained it. I understood it. Agreed with it. Opinion is easily swayed with the right information.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brandt. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
That's it.
Cody Peters is up.
Welcome.
Hi, my name is Cody Peters, and I'd like to start by thanking the city for this opportunity. I was born and raised here in North Pole. I went to school here from elementary to high school. I rode bikes on the bike paths as a child in the summertime, and yeah, and I even worked here right before Blockbuster Video closed down. I was sales representative there. So yeah, I have a deep connection to this city. But more than that, I feel compelled to serve on this council because I want to be able to represent different demographics that don't often get represented here on the council. And I think that there is a portion of the North Pole population that is young people or working class people that don't either really know how to access the city or they just don't have time to show up at council meetings. And so I'd like to be able to engage with them, meet them where they're at, and to bring that to the council with, different kinds of priorities. I do have some experience with being on boards and organizations. Even in high school, I was a student representative for the Friends of the North Pole Branch Library. Currently, I am part of the grassroots organization Fireweed Collective. that is particularly for organizing young people around politics. And I am also on the Fairbanks Climate Action Coalition's Policy and Politics Working Group. And yeah, I guess like really what I'll end this section on is that I just, what I'm most interested in is serving my community. I know that this community is a really great one. We've heard a lot of anecdotes tonight about how great the people are here, and I'd like to do my very best to be able to serve them in whatever way I can.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Peters?
Okay, here I go. My question is, Cody, what's important to you for North Pole to be a city to follow its lead? In other words, the things we're doing, what should we change? Or should we leave things the way they are? Or should we just tweak things?
Thank you, Mr. Williams. I would say that when it comes to cities in general, I feel that there's actually a large opportunity to make a big impact on a smaller community that isn't taken advantage of. And so, yeah, I think that how we can lead by example is to find really creative solutions to the problems that are facing our citizens. You know, not just going by, you know, what we normally do. Because I think that there are a lot of new challenges that are coming our way. And so we're going to have to start thinking about those and thinking about what we can do, what's in the city's powers to actually get over those. We can't, you know, necessarily just wait for the federal government, the state government, even the borough government. I think that if we take, you know, initiative into our own hands, then that's for the better.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman Claus.
Hi. With respect to youth, how would you accommodate some of the youth's needs here in the community, and how would you engage them and try and attract them as far as participating in our local government here in North Pole?
Yeah, so I was hoping that to be able to potentially run kind of personal events, essentially, like, you know, take some time at the library, maybe also go to the local ale house, you know, just find people and engage with them, essentially trying to, you know, ask them, do you live in the city limits, you know, and okay, what are the biggest problems that you feel that you're facing in this community? You know, what are the things that you enjoy about living in this community? Just trying to get their input. And yeah, you know, just kind of doing little pop-ups basically of like, you know, maybe like ask a city council person, you know, like just a little off the, you know, it's not where we're going to get like official work done. So it's not an official meeting kind of thing, but just, hey, this is an event that you can show up to and, you know, feel heard. And then hopefully I can bring that back. And also just to say one more thing, just in general, I feel like I do have connections in this community, just people I know, you know, so I can talk to them too and get input from the people that they know as well.
What do you wish to accomplish other than what you've talked about already while serving on city council?
Right. So I think that really I want to do everything that I can to make the biggest positive impact for our citizens. And I think that, it's really going to come down to having a community focus on pretty much every ordinance and decision that comes towards the city council. What is going to be the greatest impact? Um, in general, I do have kind of some key issues that are important to me. I find, housing is a big one that a lot of people have mentioned tonight. I also think that education is really, really important to me. And I think that I think that the community only gets better as it gets more educated. And that can look like lots of different things. It's not necessarily like, you know, post-secondary, education, but just being more informed is a major issue. And I also think that things like food security, I know that there was recently a resolution for affordable housing and vertical garden that was discussed. And I think that those are some of the kind of unique solutions that I'd be interested in hearing more about. I also think that we really need more things to do here. I feel like that is a major aspect. And I'm not even as concerned about increasing tourism, while that could be a great bonus to it. I think that we need to rely more on the people who are here and stay here, and having things for them to do so that they don't feel like they just want to move to Fairbanks, and so that they're closer to the things that they want to do. It's important.
Any other questions?
Yes.
Please.
Cody, you mentioned that while you were at the high school, you were the student rep for the library board. If I recall, you really spent a lot of time at the library as a younger person. So I've always felt that our library is a crown jewel for our community. What would you do to promote it or make people aware of what all is possible at our library? You talked about getting people informed. I think, opportunity with the library. So being an insider, how would you do things differently?
Good question. Thank you, Mr. Jacobson. I think that, yeah, really, I would say that it's multifaceted because, um, I feel like I tell people, everybody that I can, whether they're from Fairbanks or North Pole, that like our library is really, really amazing, and that they should, take the time to check it out. Yeah, I think that potentially like there's the opportunity to maybe post some videos or other social media posts could be nice. But generally just like increasing word of mouth, and increasing word of mouth of services, because I think that there's a lot of things that people don't realize that libraries can do, beyond just checking out books, but, media collection, audiobooks, the digital services that it provides, printing, computer use, and internet, and all of the activities that they put on. Really is, and the fact that it's pretty much one of the only things that you can go and do, and you don't have to, there's no expectation of paying money, especially in the wintertime. You can go to the parks in the summer and stuff, but yeah,
Thank you.
welcome.
Questions? Oh, please.
Mayor, when is the time that you had to confront an event or a person that opposed your views, and how did that go or look?
Right. Thank you, Mr. Keller. So there isn't a specific time that really jumps out at me, but I feel that that's kind of because the people that are closest to me would describe me as very level-headed and collected. And so, yeah, that's kind of, I guess, my thing in a way is that I like to hear people out. I want to come to a compromise if I can, and I want to educate people gently if I can't.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Up next, Miss Sandra Rolfe. Rolfe? Okay, perfect.
I noticed on the sign it's misspelled.
Yeah, kind of got flipped up there. All right.
So I'm Sandra Rolfe. I've been a resident here of the city proper of North Pole for approximately 10 years. When my husband and I got married, we were looking for a house. We looked mainly in the North Pole city proper area. I like the small town feel. I had lived previously just outside of city limits, and it's an area that we wanted to be able to raise our kids. We knew we wanted a family when we got married. We've got 2 kids now, raising them here in the city. One of the concerns that brought me initially in front of the council and got me interested in becoming an active citizen and working with the council is really issues inside of the neighborhoods that we have here in North Pole. The main issue we have is we live on a loop road and people come speeding through the road and sadly it's our own neighbors, and sadly most of the time it's the neighbors that also have little kids playing on the roads. And just one of the things that I do like here is the city policing and the activity that you see them out and policing the neighborhoods. And that's something that got me interested in wanting to see that increased to make our neighborhoods safer. It really does bring you back to the old days when the kids would be playing out in the street, whether it's a hockey game in the street and everybody moves because somebody yells car. You see a lot of that in the small neighborhoods because there aren't sidewalks in the neighborhood. So when their kids are out scootering or riding bikes or something like that, they're in the roads and it's imperative that people slow down. And so that really got me interested in getting involved here, is to see an increase of really the neighborhood policing and not just on the major roads. We see the police officers on the highway, making sure the speeders are slowing down there, but I think it's important to be on the neighborhood roads as well. And so with that in mind, when the last city council seat ended up opened up, I put my name in. So I'm back here again for that. I'm very interested in making sure that we continue to have that small town feel where everybody feels like they know their neighbors, everybody's welcome. It's a small town, everybody knows one another. And I really like that about North Pole.
Me too, very much. What do you wish to accomplish while you're serving here on the city council other than what you've mentioned?
Yeah, so I'd like to see an increase in what our officers are doing in the city, in the neighborhoods, in the small neighborhoods. I know last year, one of the things was a foot patrol that they were working on getting out there. And I will say that I was very excited for that. Very sad that I never saw it actually take place in my neighborhood. I'm home fairly often, but my mom is home almost every day at my house. She homeschools my 7-year-old, and they're usually at my house. And didn't see the officers come through at all. So it's a great idea. I think it's something that should be pushed. I don't think it was necessarily something that occurred in all of the neighborhoods. And so I'd like to see that pushed again this year. I was happy to see that they have the initiative again with the officers handing out basically coins to get the ice cream at the Santa Claus house to encourage kids who are showing safety and concern for their neighbors and wearing helmets and being safe when they're out on the roads and on their bikes and their scooters and stuff. And so just kind of that increase and continue that is really what I'd like to see occur.
Other questions?
Yes. Ms. Sandra, my question is, what's important to you for North Pole to be a city to follow its leads? How we do things, are we doing them right, or how we could improve?
I think that it's definitely going in the right direction, having a police force that its citizens feel comfortable with and interacting with. And, you know, when you see a police in your neighborhood where you're not scurrying off and hoping they don't see you, but rather wanting to interact with them, whether it's saying hello. I will say I've definitely experienced that here in North Pole, and I want to see that continue. The officers are always very friendly when they see the kids out and about, whether it's giving them stickers or little bracelets that they have. They're always very friendly when they see the kids out on the roads, riding on their bikes with little lemonade stands. The officers that I've seen have always been very good. And I think having that relationship with the town is definitely something to strive for, and where you have a police force that people are talking positively about, and I think is something that we can show other communities is possible to do.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions? Oh, sorry.
Hi.
Mr.
I
Clark.
was just thinking of some of the other departments in the city, your experience as far as your perception of the departments and how they kind of coalesce to make our city a better place.
So like I said, I've seen it probably the most with the police department, just because we see them in the neighborhood some, but definitely with our public works department, the process of getting the snow off the roads, I will definitely say I've never had an issue getting out of my neighborhood and getting into Fairbanks to get to work. The city streets in Fairbanks is a whole nother issue that definitely has some concerns. So they do a great job in getting the snow cleared here and keeping the snow cleared. Our neighborhood roads are almost completely clear at this point. So they've done a very good job of keeping it clear and then removing the hard pack as well. I see the fire department often. Their open houses are always a great attraction to the kids and getting them out there and seeing. And so I think that all the departments definitely do a great job. The other one, like I said, that I'd seen is definitely with our public works, getting the roads cleared and keeping them cleared in the wintertime.
Thank you.
Yeah, please.
When is the time that you had to confront an event or a person that opposed your views, and how did that go, or how did that look?
So I'm an attorney, so I deal with conflicting views often, pretty much daily in my job. I think the important part is that you can't ever make everybody happy, but what is important is those who have opposing views as you do, making sure that they feel they're heard, that you're addressing their concerns and not just blowing them off because their views are different from yours.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, anyone else want to ask questions?
Go ahead, and I did.
No, please, go ahead. Mr. Jacobson, I don't want to take the mic. Go ahead.
We recently accepted roads in a new subdivision that was developed from the David Ainley Trust. And it really showcased a quality of life with recreational facilities, bike trails, things like that. You mentioned that we don't have sidewalks in many of our neighborhoods, which we don't. In your particular neighborhood, David Ainley, when he developed North Star, he left the center of the property undeveloped so that it could become a public space for children to play in. how would you address that with your neighbors as far as uh, is it something worthwhile pursuing for the safety of our kids? Is it a privacy issue because you now have people in your backyards where you just used to have trees? How would you balance those competing needs and interests?
That's actually very interesting. I didn't know that. That's very cool. I think having something in the neighborhood itself where kids could go, especially to be off the street and to recreate, would be great. I think it would be a great opportunity to families, and it would just be a matter of putting together the information to explain to them what the benefits could be, make the children safer, giving them a specific place where they could play, have entertainment, and be safe, be close to home as well, so you're not concerned about them getting too far away or being unsafe. It's somewhere where they could go, where you could be within a close distance, but wouldn't necessarily have to have eyes immediately on them, like the parks currently. Our major parks, at least here, are also on large roadways. The Fifth Avenue Park and our Cherry Miller Park are both at very big roadways and intersections. So you need to be right there where the kids are because you don't want them wandering by the road. So having more neighborhood parks, I think, would be a great opportunity. I think neighborhoods would be very open to that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Ms. Rolfe.
Thank you
very much. That brings us to Mr. Larry Dotson on Zoom.
And Larry's in Florida, so it's 4 hours ahead. So Larry, thank you for holding strong.
Well, I appreciate that. Actually, I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Oh.
And it's 11:40 over here Eastern time. But I want to thank you all for the invite tonight, and a little bit about myself. I arrived here in 1967. My father was in the Air Force stationed at Charleston Air Force Base, about 90 miles south of here. And he got orders for Eielson. I was a junior in high school, and we headed north in April of 1967. That was 57 years ago, if I've got that right, this month. And we arrived here, lived on base. I attended Ben Eielson High School. I graduated there the following year, went on to UAF, and then on to the military and Air Force. And I did 4 years active, 2 years inactive. I was assigned, all my assignments were in Alaska. I was assigned to Murphy Dome Air Force Station, which is no longer there. It's a nice place to hang out and get a lot of sun and hunting and fishing there, of course. But all the buildings are gone. So I spent 2.5 years up there monitoring radar and watching the Russian Bear bombers get close to Nome, but occasionally penetrate our Alaskan airspace. But we would chase them back off with the F-4s from Eielson. From there, I went on to Eielson for my final year, and I actually got out of the military in June of 1972. From there, I went on to, because by then I was about 23 years old, I believe. I decided I probably was a little bit too old to get into professional ball. I had a full ride scholarship at the University of South Carolina as a baseball pitcher. And unfortunately, I couldn't accept that because my dad got orders to Alaska and I was only a junior. So I decided to pursue a career as a professional baseball umpire. I did that, went to umpire school in Florida in 1974, finished 16th out of 160 students, and did get a position in professional ball. I took that position for 2 years before coming back to Alaska, and I picked up with the North Pole Knicks and the Alaska Gold Banners. I umpired both those teams probably in the neighborhood of about 10 years. And during that period, I was operating, I opened my first sporting goods store in North Pole. and then followed by a second one in Fairbanks as well as Eagle River. So I owned 3 sporting goods stores during that period. And also a furniture store in Fairbanks. So I had all that going for me at the time. I sold a lot of those businesses in the 80s and early 90s and moving into real estate, which I got my real estate license in 1995, broker's license in 2004, and I currently still have a broker's license. I opened my own real estate office at the corner of Hearst and Badger in 2011. There was a building over there which I developed, designed, and built with the assistance of my other business partner, G2 Construction, operating Stars and Stripes Realty there, as well as we had a secondary tenant there, Allstate Insurance, who eventually bought the building later. I operated there for 5 years. That flagpole that's on that property is the tallest flagpole in Alaska. Many of you know that. It's 142 feet tall and weighs 6 tons, and it's dedicated to my father. There's a monument at the base of it. I have $80,000 invested in that flagpole. The building was sold in 2014 to Allstate and is now owned by a doctor, and he has his practice in there now. Currently, during that same period, my business partner and I, G2 Construction, we built the Alpine Lodge down near the airport. It's now the La Quinta Lodge. We owned that for 10 years. That was sold in 2015. Currently, I have sold a lot of my rentals. I had almost 30 rentals in Fairbanks. I'm down to 5 right now. And I also, my business partner and I, we own 2 buildings that are leased back to charter schools. The newest one is Discovery Peak, which is in North Pole. That opened about 4 years ago. Other than that, down here in Myrtle Beach currently, had some doctor's appointments. I had some surgeries down here, and I do follow-ups down here once or twice a year, and as well as dental appointments. But I'll be back in a few weeks, and looking forward to coming back for the summer.
Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Yes. With your experience with North Pole being so vast, and with the city of North Pole, what compelled you to serve our city or want to serve our city at this time?
Well, I always like to see growth, whether it's in Fairbanks or North Pole. I'm currently in the Rotary Club here in North Pole, and we're looking at different ways which we can design and move forward on a new proposition for Jack Wright Park. That's on the agenda, high on the agenda right now. I like a small town atmosphere, but I enjoy growth too. I like to see certain businesses pop in there, especially private businesses, local businesses, which I'm a firm believer in supporting. But I'm all about it. I'm a numbers guy. I'm all about budgets and design, and that's kind of my trademark. And aside from real estate, but I feel like North Pole will be my home forever. I've lived in Fairbanks for 10 years. I've lived in North Pole probably for 40. And I feel very comfortable out there, and it's very, very pleasing to me, and I very much enjoy living there.
Any other questions?
Yes. Hey, this is Benny Williams again.
Yes, Benny.
important? How you doing? What's important to you here at North Pole to be the city to follow its lead?
The city to follow its lead. First of all, I would say the most compelling thing in my mind is Eielson Air Force Base. Without Eielson Air Force Base, I don't think North Pole would be, it would be there, but would it exist like it is now? I don't think so. We almost lost Eielson about 15, 20 years ago. They were going to shut it down. But I think growth is good. Staying within your budget is good. And keeping it on a small basis, but promote tourism. Santa Claus House brings in a lot of people. And I think that's the main draw here in the summertime.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, welcome. You had mentioned something about housing, and I was wondering, since you have the experience with the Air Force Base, as far as accommodating the city, is the city's accommodating the Air Force Base's needs and other needs for housing here? How would you address that?
Well, I would certainly set out a plan to find land that would fit their needs, whether it's apartments or housing. And I think that's on the books right now. But there's definitely going to be need for it now and in the future. So I think finding that land and working with the base to find out what they're looking for in terms of single housing, dormitory type, or family housing. But I don't think it's going to slow down out there. I think it's going to continue to grow, and I think we need to take a lead in that for sure.
Thank you.
Other questions? Please.
So you have quite a bit of experience in different fields. I'll ask you the same question I asked the other candidates. When is a time that you had to confront an event or person that opposed your views, and how did that go, or how did that look?
I've always been a peace-loving person. I never like to get into arguments or anything like that. I was always very diplomatic. Except when I was umpiring professional baseball. I did lead the league 1 year in ejections. I had 17 ejections. So when you're on a baseball field, we're on a time limit, and we don't want to discuss things too long. And if it gets out of hand, you have to remove them. But I'm pretty diplomatic in terms of whether it's a real estate deal or working with another buyer for drawings or on a budget or things like that. And I'm very easygoing and like to work with people the best I can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, at this time, I'd like to take a 5-minute quick break. Just allow people to use the restroom before we get into voting, refill their water. So a quick 5-minute break. We'll be back at 7:55. Huh? I can't believe we switched chairs. I feel like you have to be hitting the down button somehow, but Santa, I have to tell you, you probably weigh less than I do.
What I'll have to do is get Cody or somebody sometime.
Maggie, you guys have a stapler over there? Right. Keep my paper organized just like that way. Spin rule.
Hey, Mike, it's good to see you. He almost got me in trouble with his confrontation.
I remember Mike's younger days when he had a little bit of fire in his belly.
No, that's long gone. But I started to answer the question. I wanted to test your sense of humor. I said, it's probably not the right time, because I was gonna say, it's funny you mentioned that. It happened at my house last night. I did something, and my wife got very angry and confrontational. And like a good husband, I backed down immediately and diffused the whole thing.
I love it. I love it.
That would have been good.
Huh?
That would have been good. That would have been funny.
That's great. Hey, Chief to be. Congratulations. Yeah.
Fiance, no, it's exciting, but answers there, so
Well,
moving forward mentally.
there was no other option in my mind.
Yeah, I don't think that that's wrong at all, but I think that we should.
Oh, I was really pleased to hear. You know.
Come talk to me about such things.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised that we had so many people apply, but it's really nice. 'Cause we've had elections where no one has on the ballot. Thursday. Yeah.
I just hope it's a trend we can get.
Yeah, I learned a lot from these people tonight. It's like, man, you know, I kind of have.
Yeah, this is Larry, I had no idea, like, the flagpole and all this history and.
Yeah.
and stuff.
A lot of experience in the room, so that's good.
Yeah. Well, great to see you again.
All right, same here.
Thing is that people don't take us.
All right.
I'll return my stick to the. It only closes one of the sides, so you're having to bend all the one that's sticking out. Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff.
Sure.
Well, that's funny.
Okay. Council, are we ready for part B of tonight's special session?
And Mayor Church, I pulled up on the screen here. Why does it do that? I pulled up the organization code, and I'm going to just pull down here. So we're at the point where the council can hear nominations from as many council members as you guys can nominate as many people as you would like to, and they're out loud nominations.
I nominate Jordan Schuster.
If we go back to the top of that real quick, I think these are just for the officers within the candidate or the city council.
It's just the process that we're following, though.
Okay, all right.
We had to go through Zane because we kept getting 3-2 splits in our exercise. So I had to ask him how to, and it says very clearly 4 members must vote, and that's how the seat gets taken. So I have heard a nomination for Jordan Schuster. Are there any other nominations?
Mayor, I have nominations.
Yep.
Having read the code, I personally would, each person who showed up here had something to offer, and I would like to nominate Jordan Schuster, Perry Wally, Michael Gendro, David Brandt, Cody Peters, Sandra Rolfs, and Larry Dotson.
Benny, did you hear that? Santa has nominated everybody.
Yeah, I did.
So will you be able to text me your secret votes? 2 people.
Okay, got it. Here's my 2 people coming to you there.
This ballot here, and then.
Did you get them?
Yes.
Okay.
Cue Jeopardy music.
Boy, if I knew we were going to have a little bit of a break, I would have brought the community calendar. Does anybody have anything they want to bring up or mention as far as a community calendar?
Fourth annual North Pole Community Food Drive is happening the month of April.
Wonderful.
You can drop off food at a variety of locations, including houses of worship, and I'm not sure if the fire or police department's involved with collection or city hall.
Okay. I know that Crave is sponsoring an egg scavenger hunt throughout the city of North Pole. They sent me that flyer. I know that Summit Church also typically does a little Easter egg hunt on Saturday prior to Easter. But the Crave one is sort of an interesting one because it's a scavenger hunt through the North Pole parks.
Who's doing that?
Crave. It's the bakery in town, right next to the creperie,
Oh, okay.
right down here in the mall.
Yeah.
The Firewalk, Subway,
Yeah.
Country Cafe.
Okay, we have tallied the votes, and per code, we do not have a majority, but we do have 1 member that did not receive it. We're moving on with the members that receive the most amounts of votes. So Michael Gendro is now no longer in the running. We didn't get nobody got 4 votes. So now we've dropped Michael Gendro off the list, and we need to do another round of nominations. We still have 2 seats open. I'm sorry, a round of voting. We have 2 seats open. I'm coming with ballots. And Benny, you're going to have to send me a text again.
You got it. Coming to you.
I would like to thank everyone for coming down. I think that this is wonderful that we have 2 seats and there are so many qualified candidates who want to serve their city. I hope that those that do not get chosen this evening come back with full force. And it's just not about service here. As far as a council member, it's about taking care of your neighbor. taking care of everything that our city is about and protecting everything that was said here tonight about our city. And I just appreciate every single one of you for coming out and making that happen. It does show a lot of wonderful things that are happening in our community and things that something I wasn't even aware of. So I appreciate the added information here this evening, and that was very nice. So thank you all for coming down. Please.
I echo what Santa Claus and the mayor said. I really appreciated the divergent perspectives and passion that all of the candidates have for North Pole. And Santa Claus kind of beat me to the punch because it's like I like all the candidates. It's going to be hard. So the good thing is, though, there will be 4 seats up for election in October. So if you're not successful tonight, don't give up. Abraham Lincoln lost a lot of elections, like over a dozen before he got elected to a state legislature office. So, okay.
And Benny, you'll have to text me, you're voting for Jordan Schuster, Perry Wally, or David Brandt. You get 2 members.
I can only do those 2? All those?
Jordan Schuster, Perry Wally, or David Brandt, and you can vote for 2.
Okay. Okay. I can only vote for those guys right there that you said, right?
It's Jordan Schuster, Perry Wally, and David Brandt.
Okay, getting ready to come to you.
Thank you.
God darn it.
Now we need the Jeopardy music.
I know that this would be the perfect time for it.
If we do, I have a North Pole coin ready to roll. Go ahead, Anton.
That's because I'm not involved.
Fair enough.
Wait a minute, make sure I got the name spelled right. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, that's good. Coming to you, Emily.
I would like to thank our local pastors for coming down and saying prayers. I think that it's a super important piece that we pull our entire community, especially our church leaders, into the decisions that we have to make. So if there are church leaders who are listening tonight who would like to attend and give the invocation at council meetings, we would love to have you. Please give me a call on my office line, leave a message, shoot me an email. That's 488-8584. 488 like Tradio, 8584, which is a program I would like to just say I truly miss. Sorry, Perry, that was a little bit of a dig. Please, Madam Clerk.
We do have 1 candidate that received more than 4 votes. So we have this first seat is going to go to Jordan Schuster. I don't know if everybody wants to clap or.
Congratulations, Jordan. Welcome aboard.
Another round of nominations.
Another round of votes
No.
or total nominations?
We need to nominate for the second seat now.
I nominate David Brandt.
I'm sorry, pardon? What was that?
David Brandt.
Oh, I understand. Thank you, Jeff.
So we can nominate any of the individuals on the list?
Yes.
Except for
Okay,
Jordan. Okay, so I did hear one nomination for David Brandt.
Please, go ahead, Santa.
I nominate Perry Wally, Michael Gendro, David Brandt, Cody Peters, Sandra Rolfs, and Larry Dotson.
hey, man, it's everybody.
That's correct. Yep.
So you're gonna make sure somebody get it, huh?
Benny, I need you to text me your one vote.
Got it. Coming to you. You get it?
I love uncharted territory. I feel like we've been there a lot this year.
Yeah.
We all learned together.
It's 51st States, North Pole style.
Kind of like 51st Dates meets Groundhog Day, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yes, it would.
We will move forward with David Brandt, Perry Wally, and Sandra Rolfs. Benny, you're going to have to send me another text.
And we're voting for one.
One person.
We're voting for one person. David Brandt, Perry Wiley. Who's that third one, dear?
Yeah, maybe when you are done, you can run over the three that we get to choose from again, please.
It is David Brandt,
Yes,
Perry
ma'am.
Wally, and Sandra Rolfs.
Oh, damn.
The
Copy.
attorney did say this is how we could go into the wee hours of the evening.
All right, we'll blame the attorney then, okay? There's mine.
Thank you, Benny.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Madam Clerk and Madam HR, for your hard work this evening. I know that this is not easy, and we appreciate everything that you're doing here.
Mm.
Benny, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
We are down to two members, and the applicants are Perry Wally and David Brandt, still remaining.
Okay.
Thing you cut up lots of.
Coming at you.
And this is how we needed the attorney's assistant. So now we're down to 2 people, and we need to get 4. So we need to get 4 votes for the last person, and the remaining person is, we're at a 3-2 split.
So how many people we vote for now?
So we are down to a 3-2 split. The person with less votes is Perry Wally. David Brandt has 3 votes, 3, yes. And now I will pass out, and this comes down to a yes, no. So yes, you affirm David Brandt by 4, or no, you don't. And then we might have to do another round of voting. Because I have to have 4 people that vote for the member that's going to take the seat. And right now we're at 3-2. So we drop off the person with the lowest amount. And if you guys affirm by 4 votes, but if you all say you agree.
Oh, okay, I see. I was.
Okay.
See why we needed Zane. Okay, Benny, so you are going to do a yes or a no vote for David Brandt.
You got it.
And just as our practice, we will do another round of nominations for another round of voting for this seat. We got another 3-2 split. All the way back to the beginning. Yep. So we're back up to section number 1. And now, but this time you're only going to get to vote on 1 person. And Zane did say this could go into the wee hours of the morning.
All right. Well, I'm glad we took that restroom break and walk around.
Are there nominations?
All right, Santa Claus, do your thing.
Thank you. I nominate Perry Wally, Michael Gendro, David Brandt, Cody Peters, Sandra Rolfe, and Larry Dotson.
What? He nominated everybody but Jordan, right? So, yeah. And Benny, you're going to have to send me in your choice by text.
Yes, ma'am. So he nominated everybody except Jordan, huh? Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
It's because, yeah, Jordan already has confirmed his spot.
There we go.
Thank you, Benny.
You're welcome.
We are down to Perry Wally, David Brandt, and Sandra Rolfs. Benny, I'm going to need you to send me another text.
Yes, dear. You got it.
Oh my gosh, we could be here all night.
There I go.
I got 2 votes.
Oh my goodness.
I know I had two pieces of paper too.
Are you special, Jeff?
Somebody thinks I am.
Okay, here we are in the situation again. We have two candidates that will move forward for the next round of voting, and that's David Brandt and Perry Wally. Benny, please send me a text.
Yes, ma'am.
I hope you have enough scratch
Happy.
pieces of paper to get through this evening.
I have a lot. There are exercises. I made a lot.
So during our break, I did do a little research for some community information. I might as well put it out there while we're here. The Santa Senior Center and the 17-mile Homemakers.
Think about that.
Yeah, at the North Pole Post Office. They got signs out there in the senior center. They are doing an information and technologically assistive report here at the City Hall chambers, April 17th, starting at 10 a.m. to 11:30 right here, where they're going to talk about how not to get scammed,
Oh.
assistance with technology, and tools that they need to safely learn, work, play, and participate in the community.
Okay, and we now are back to, I'm going to pass out the ballots. David Brandt has risen to the top, and I will send another ballot with a yes or a no. Benny, would you send me a yes or a no?
Yes,
David
ma'am.
Brandt is the final candidate.
Coming to you.
The Santa Senior Center is also trying to repave their parking lot this summer, so they're looking for donations. They have estimates that it's going to be about $25,000 to repave their parking lot. Is that correct, Benny? You would know better than anyone, Mr. Williams.
That is correct.
Yeah, okay.
Does that include redoing some of the underground work that needs to be done?
No, not that I know of. Yeah.
So we're down to another 3-2 split. Would the council like to ask another question or before, or do you just want to go into another nomination? I didn't know if you want something to break the ice.
Would the council like to ask another question? Okay, back down the road we go.
So are we doing it? We'll do another round of nominations, Santa?
All right. I nominate Perry Wally, Michael Gendro, David Brandt, Cody Peters, Sandra Rolfe, and Larry Dodson.
And we pick who we want to pick for one person, right?
Yep, just text me one person, Benny.
Got it. Coming to you.
Too stressed.
Is there anybody in attendance who would like to talk about some local things that are happening in our area?
Chamber of Commerce is doing that job training symposium. I think it's on Friday, coming up, I think this next week,
Madam Clerk.
this Friday maybe.
Okay, we will move forward with 4 candidates on this next election. The candidates are David Brandt, Perry Wally, Cody Peters, and Sandra Rolfs.
Vote again for one of them, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's okay. That's okay. I'll vote for you. Oh,
We can't do that. We're on a special meeting. We have to stay on one topic.
The yes or no is changing the rules. That's what we're stuck on. We don't get the 4 yeses, so back to the 4 votes.
Yeah, so Jeff, what you were talking about is So You Think You're Ready seminar, Friday, April 18th.
Yes.
At the North Pole or Hotel North Pole, 9 a.m. to 2:30 is the seminar.
You know, of any high school students that would like to have a day off from school, that'd be a good day for them to learn about what's ahead in their future, or a recent graduate.
Have a seat, Madam Clerk.
So Benny, we're on to another round here, and we have Sandra Rolfe has risen to the top, and now we need a yes or a no.
Got it. I'll put mine in.
Okay.
Mine's coming to you.
Not getting voted for. So where do you guys want to? You guys want to?
Start again.
Start again? Is there? Do you want to still nominate everybody? Is that?
Yes, we do.
All right. I
Thank
just
you,
need-
Madam Clerk.
Yeah. Please just call the names on the record. I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
I would like to nominate Cody Peters, Sandra Rolfe, Michael Gendreau, Larry Dotson, Perry Wally, and David Brandt. Thank you.
And Benny, the people up for nomination are Perry Wally, Michael Gendreau, David Brandt, Cody Peters, Sandra Rolfe, and Larry Dotson.
Coming to you.
He came to the Comic-Con, just so you know. He was at the Fairbanks Comic-Con, yeah. Blues Clues guy. The You Got Mail guy, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, Blue's Clues, you got mail.
yeah.
Mail call? Yeah. I was doing Yahoo. Or no. Oh, it was. You got it.
Okay, the 3 moving forward is, I just want to make sure. The 3 moving forward after this round is Perry Wally, David Brandt, and Sandra Rolfs. Benny, did you hear that?
Yes, ma'am. So what you want me to do now?
Just send one name in, Benny.
Okay, got it.
Still only 8:30. Got 4 hours here. Like to order a beer. Hill House. Not sure if they deliver. And a pizza. Should we do a pizza party?
Okay, this round is, we are down to 2 candidates, and it's Perry Wally and David Brandt.
Feel like we feel like we've been here before.
States.
And Benny, did you hear those 2 applicants?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Thank you.
You got it. Coming to you.
We have another 3-2 split. Uh, and David Brandt has risen to the top, so we are at a yes or no for David Brandt. Benny, did you hear that?
Yes, ma'am. Coming to you.
She's chuckling. That's not good.
We have another 3-2 split. It's very tough with 5 council members to get 4 affirmative votes.
So we have already decided that Jordan Schuster will be one of our next council members. Is it possible to?
I asked saying that.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, down the road we go.
So
Please, I mean, we are in
Yeah.
new territory that I don't think the city of North Pole has ever been in before.
Up there. So I just want to thank everybody for showing up here and putting their 2 cents and putting their name out in the hat. I think it's very important to contribute to the community, and being on this council is an honor, and you do learn a lot. And I think there will be some people here that could learn a lot about their community and help their community in the same time. With that said, October is just around the corner. There's more seats open. And with that said, I withdraw my nomination.
Thank you, Perry.
Perry, thank you for coming down this evening.
Half time.
Okay, is there any council member that would like to nominate?
I will nominate Cody Peters, Sandra Wolf, Michael Gendrew, Larry Dotson, and David Brandt.
And Benny, you can text me who you're voting for.
Yes, ma'am.
I can't wait for the headline tomorrow.
North Pole in 27-3-2 splits.
There was no white smoke for 27 rounds.
So there is a Rotary meeting, I think, Wednesday at noon at the
Elf's Den.
Elves Den every Wednesday if you're interested in Rotary.
That's Gloria with who the speaker is this year. I mean, tomorrow or Wednesday.
Okay, so we will move forward with three applicants, Sandra, Rolfs, Larry Dodson, and David Brandt. And Benny, you can text me who you're voting for.
Coming to you.
No, it's just a sticker. Just a North Pole sticker. We do have North Pole stickers. If anybody would like any for their water bottle, I'd be more than happy. Oh, please. There, you may have this one. Oh, yeah, please. You don't, yeah, we're not in a courtroom here. This is local government, the greatest thing ever. No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, we had stickers. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is cool. I was able to, oh, go ahead, Madam Clerk.
We are down to yes, no, and the candidate that's risen is David Brandt. So Benny, I'll need a yes or a no to David Brandt's nomination.
Okay.
So with the pins that I took down to the Tanana Chiefs Conference that happened a couple of weeks ago, I took them 100 of those water bottle stickers. I think it's super cool. Yeah.
That is wonderful.
I had no idea that we even had stickers before
I know. I just saw it
became
tonight
mayor,
for the
so it
first
was
time.
wonderful.
That's
Yeah.
great.
So we have an answer, and our second council member is going to be David Brandt. And I will have your guys' oaths of office at the next meeting. You'll swear in under mayor's comments. On Monday, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It is.
So next Monday, the 21st, we'll have our pre-meeting at 6:30 and then our meeting at 7 o'clock. Invite your family, friends, and you'll be sworn in. And after that, get to join us up here on the dais.
Yeah, and David and
Jordan.
Jordan. But Maggie has some paperwork for both of you guys to get filled out. And Mayor, if we can move on, we're at council member comments.
Yeah, please move on.
Benny, since you're online, I'm going to go ahead and have you finish off first.
Okay, I can drop the non-mic then, huh?
Amen.
Well, for all the candidates that really stepped up to the plate, I really appreciate that. I think the more people we got that shows an interest in what's going on, I think North Pole will be the place that everybody wants to be. And I'm pretty sure down the road, things will pick up for us. You know, we just have to show the people what we're doing and what's coming down. And once again, treat everybody right. That's the only thing we can do. You know, and I always say there's only one cook in the kitchen and we're there to help that cook. And we have to remember that. We work together as a team and everything will go okay. And if there's any problems, we work them out and we make it work for the residents that are here in North Pole. Okay, dropping the non-mic now.
Thank you, Benny. Mr.
You're
Keller?
Yeah, so I just want to echo the many comments that have been made tonight about the number of applications. The pure interest in 2 vacant seats. Like, this is phenomenal for our small little city of North Pole. With that being said, there was some mention of getting involved. I have here written down certain things that we can do to get involved, and this is just not for us here, but this is also for the public in the city and around. There are official city committees that are open for the public to attend. There are open committees within the Greater Fairbanks Chamber of Commerce, the North Pole Community Chamber of Commerce. Churches have committees, and then community service organizations such as the Lions and the Rotary Club that I know that are here in the city of North Pole. If we continue to have this kind of involvement, there is no limit on what we can do as citizens of this community to continue to build up. Like Mr. Wally said, there is election coming up in October as well. There's 2 seats, maybe 4.
4.
Okay, according to code, there's 4. Okay. So there are opportunities to get involved. So thank you. Thank you. And let this not be the last time that you come to City Hall. This is a great opportunity to serve, a great opportunity to be a voice for both people, the voice of the people and the citizens of North Pole, as well as business owners, but also a voice from the city council back to the community. So let's not forget this. What a great opportunity. And thank you. Thank you all for coming to be a part of this.
Thank you, Mr. Keller. Mr. Jacobson?
Yes, thank you everyone for your patience and your involvement in this process. I believe that North Pole has finally turned the corner of voter apathy, because there were elections where we had no one filing for a candidacy. And to have 7 of you tonight expressing an interest to serve, even though it's only till October, that's heartwarming. And so I applaud you for that. Mr. Keller did raise that we do have city council committees, and they're not fully staffed. So if there's a committee that you'd like to serve on, you certainly can talk to the clerk, and she can let you know what committees are out there and which ones still have seats that can be filled. Thank you for tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Jacobson. Mr. Claus?
Thank you, everybody. It was quite refreshing and heartwarming as well to see the variety of skills and interests and stuff that you all expressed, every single candidate you have for strengths. And I appreciate you coming out. And one of the nice things is, from my perspective, from child advocacy, I think it sets a good example for our youth here in town, saying, yes, you are welcome to come in here to council. Please become more involved. We've been very blessed to have a very balanced council through the years. I think there's always someone on council that anyone here in town can feel they can approach and talk with us, because we need that interaction. That was brought up during the questions earlier. We need that interaction where people come in and approach us at the supermarket or at the post office or walking on the street or when we're parking the cars, whatever. We would like to see more feedback, and I'd like to see more people here attending our council meetings. It's the first and third Mondays usually of the month, and they're on our website, just if you want to check and make sure. So thank you, everyone, and happy Easter.
Thank you, Mr. Claus. Mayor Turch?
I love this community, and this is one of the reasons why. When we need people to step up to serve, it gets put out and people come out in droves to make this happen. It really does say a lot about our entire community that you guys come out in full force to make this community better. And I hope that that echoes its way throughout the rest of the community. It isn't one person changing our community, it's our community changing our community. And when we start to look at our community doing better here, that love that we have for our community will spread to the other communities, and we truly will be an example to the rest of the community about how important it is to take care of your neighbor, do what's right, and take care of your community. So thank you. Happy Easter, everyone, and have a wonderful evening.
Move to adjourn. Happy Easter.
Well, second.
Got that in there.
You're adjourned at 8:43.
You got one of your five in there, huh?
Oh,
Well, we've had all of these people as your five.
all these